Hello, my name is Kit Cabello, one of the co-founders of Veracity In Defiance, and we are shooting here inside the Democratic National Convention at the Wells Fargo Center in the city of Philadelphia. And I'm here with...
Former Miss New Jersey US, 2015, I passed on my crown in May, actually.
All right, now, please tell us, Samera, what is going on here? What's the purpose of this whole event?
Well, we're at the Democratic National Convention and Democracy Spring. I've been involved with them since April, and yesterday we actually got arrested for blocking the entrance to the DNC in the inner perimeter. 39 people got arrested. On Monday, we got arrested as well, and because we marched and then blocked the delegate entrance over there. And that 60 people got arrested, and we're doing this so that in defense of our democracy, that we are not happy with the Democratic Party and, supposedly the party of the people. And they are legislating in accordance with the needs of corporations. They're the party of big business, and they're the party of Wall Street and not Main Street. Republicans and Democrats are funded by the same corporations, and that's what we're here again. And our demands to them are abolishing superdelegates, because that whole process is undemocratic, overturning Citizens United, and comprehensive democracy reform in general within the first 100 days.
Now, the corporate media is going to spin this convention one way by saying that there's unity and people are together. Do you think the Democratic Party is unified? Do you think they understand just how deep the division between Bernie Sanders supporters are and Clinton supporters are?
Well, firstly, Hillary has done everything to piss off Bernie Sanders supporters. She is basically saying to us, by hiring Deborah Wasserman Schultz in her campaign and by choosing a center-right corporate Dem as her VP. She has snubbed Bernie supporters in every way. And, we make up progressive voters make up 54% of the Democratic Party. So she's not going to win this election if she doesn't have Bernie supporters. And right now we're seeing increased third-party activity, and that should be concerning for both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Now, both Dr. Jill Stein and Gary Johnson are being emerged as many Americans are looking at them as their third choice, because statistically, Donald Trump and Clinton are both despised by many people who've taken the polling data in regards to who they wanted as president. So do you think there's room for a potential Gary Johnson or Jill Stein to be on a debate stage, perhaps even both of them, with just how people feel disenfranchised right now at this Democratic National Convention?
Well, first of all, what we have right now is an establishment monopoly, not a two-party system. The two-party system only dates back to the 19th century. And if third-party candidates, or what I like to call them minor parties, because saying third party, it strengthens the two-party system, and it's a false two-party system. And if we see them on the debate stage, more American voters are likely to vote for them. Also, they need at least 15% in the polls, but then they're not allowed on the polls, and some polls they're not even included. So how are they supposed to get that percentage necessary? I mean, the entire process is rigged against minor parties. They want to perpetuate the establishment monopoly and continue to override the will of the people.
Do you believe Bernie Sanders made a mistake in endorsing Hillary Clinton during this convention? Do you believe that maybe he should have fought harder, like many of his supporters wanted to?
Well, firstly, it's kind of challenging to answer this question because he did run as a Democratic Party candidate. However, I agree with Jill Stein saying that you can't have a political revolution in a counter-revolutionary party. He tried for the Democratic nomination, and once he realized that it was completely rigged against him, once the DNC leaks came out, which was, released way too late to make any difference in the polling data. And he probably should have considered, running as an independent after this, because the Democratic Party, they snubbed him completely. They disregarded him as an actual party candidate because he's not a corporate Democrat. They want the John Kerry, they want the Hillary Clinton, to be president. And it's very sad that we see our democracy crumbling in front of us, and, we feel powerless to stop it. And that's what's upsetting.
Obviously, we both know what's wrong with the potential Trump administration, but what concerns you about a Hillary Clinton administration should she be able to become president? What are one things that you fear from her administration or are deeply concerned about Hillary Clinton and her potential administration in running this country for the next 4 years?
Well, my specialty is foreign policy, and Hillary's policies in the Middle East are very concerning, actually. And she supports regime change in Syria. She is funding and arming the Saudi Arabia in their war against Iran in Yemen. She takes the wrong sides in every issue in the Middle East, especially on Israel-Palestine, and she is pro-Netanyahu, and she's willing to give him more aid as well as provide him military assistance in the case that they do want to, attack Iran or anything that happens of that sort. Also, Tim Kaine, I just researched, he was one of 4 senators who's basically do you remember when Netanyahu came to Congress?
Yes, he did speak to Congress.
Yeah, so Tim Kaine was one of the senators who stayed out, like with Bernie. But he wants to give $320 million to Netanyahu, and this was reported 2 days ago. And to me, when Hamas launches rockets and missiles at Israeli population, they're not trying to, hit the Israeli population because they know that the Iron Dome system will intercept those missiles. So if we keep giving them aid, how will the Israeli government understand that? How will they be pressured to give Palestine their sovereignty and their statehood? And if we're going to, you know what I mean? It's just very, our foreign policy is all so screwed up, and we take all the wrong sides in the Middle East, especially Syria now, and whoever comes in after Assad will probably be a radical, right-winged, fundamentalist, Islamist regime, and we don't want that. We don't want another Libya to happen in the area.
And last question, what would you say to Bernie Sanders supporters, volunteers, and delegates who feel disenfranchised?
Well, don't give in to voting for your fears. If you think that Hillary is the lesser of two evils and you live in a swing state, vote for Gary Johnson, because it's a vote against Trump, but you're not compromising your values in voting for Hillary Clinton. If you don't live in a swing state, vote for whoever you want, because it doesn't matter. Your vote at the end of the day doesn't matter. Those states will go blue or those states will go red. So it's going to be 6 or 7 swing states that determine this election, and I predict that this is going to be one of the lowest voter turnout rates we've had this century.
All right, thank you very much. This is Kid Cabela, one of the co-founders of Veracity In Defiance, signing out.